Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for the aligned showing training class. Tonight, we are going to talk about how to set up a single showing, how to set up a route, which is pretty much more than one showing for the same client on the same day. And then I'm going to show you how to add a showing that maybe isn't using aligned showing. And so you're unable to set up a showing through aligned showing. But I'm going to show you how to add it so that it is in your route. Because the great thing about using a route is that if you have, more than I would say two, it has a smart route option, which enables you to do a starting point, and then based on the distance from that showing, it puts them in order. So it just saves you time, it saves your client time, and then that way you're not driving back and forth like a bee. Okay, so first things first, when you have a buyer, you're going to ask them to send you over a list of showings that they want to go look at. Oh, you're fine. So I just so happen to have a buyer that wants to go out and take a look. So he sent me a couple. So you just find the first that they want to go see. For those that don't know, I'm logged into the MLS. When you're in the MLS, sometimes there's a little icon right here, but I've noticed for aligned showing, it's actually over here under the more column. And yours might show up here, but for some reason, mine's always on the side. So once you're in the listing and you're ready to set up a showing, just find the aligned showing, click on it. And that is going to automatically take you to the aligned showing. The first thing is that you have to choose the date of the showings. So if it's for today, you don't have to do anything, but if it's for a future date, you just have to make sure that you click on it. What type of showing? Is it your first showing? Is it a return showing? Is it for an inspection? Because you can actually do that for the inspector. Typically the inspector, depending on who you use, will do that. Or is it your final walkthrough? For this purpose, it's going to be a showing. Hit next. And then it's going to allow you to move. Whoops. Dang it. Hold on, sorry. It allows you to move it up and down depending on what time you want to start. If this was a single showing, this is exactly what you want to do. You just want to choose the start time, hit next. You can enter a message if you want. You can add a buyer if you want. You do not have to. Then hit send. I'm not going to hit send because I don't want to set up a single showing. I want to start a route. But this is what you would do for a single showing. Any questions on that? It's pretty easy. Okay. Because I want to do a route, I'm going to close this out. I'm going to go back just because I want you to see what I have to do to get to where I need to be. So aligned showing. It's going to take me back to this. I'm going to close it because again, I want to do a route. I'm going to come over here to the left side and I'm going to choose route. Kind of gives you a little bit of a instructional guide. There's 3 steps. Okay, come up here to the right corner in the green, create new route. It's going to bring up the map of the United States. Zoom into Arizona. 32,991 listings. Well, I obviously don't want all those. I want the one that I know I need. So you can do either the address. You don't have to put in the whole address. If you search for it, it's going to bring it up. Just click in the box. And up here, you'll see a tally. So right now I've added 1 showing to my route. Come back over here to the search, enter in the next showing, or address, I should say. Search. Yep, that's it. Click it. Now I've added 2 to my route. I'm gonna add a couple more just for training purposes. Okay, well, this one is not coming up. Oh, okay. I know why. That is a non-MLS listing. So they have not signed that listing up to use MLS or the Align Showings. And I believe that is because it is a open door listing, and you don't have to do Align Showing. You have to download their app, and it's a whole different process. However, I know that I want to add that to my route, so I'm going to put that on the back burner, and we're going to circle back to it. Okay, so next, home. Okay. Now I know, because I've already done this search to make sure that these are the ones that my client wants for training purposes. So I know that this is the price of, and that's what the house looks like. But if you accidentally put in the wrong address, it might bring up a different listing. So just make sure that you're double checking that it does make sense before you add it to your route. Okay, so I clicked it, and now I have 3 up in my basket, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, yep. There's another one. Okay. Now I have 4. And let's add 1 more. Okay, no listing found. Again, open door, or they just are not an Align Showing listing. Okay, so once you've got all of the showings that you know that you want to do, you click on the add to route. You're going to name the route. You name it whatever you want. Usually I do it by whoever I'm working with at that time. Your showing date. What day are you going to be going out? And what time are you going to start at? Again, you can add your buyer if you want. You do not have to, but it's up to you if you want to. Hit next. Okay, so based on what I was able to find in Align Showings, it put them in order of a starting place, and then it just kind of put it in order based on how I entered it. This is not how you want to do it. You first want to come down to fastest route. This is the smart route, as I called it. You choose your starting point and then calculate it. And it may or may not move them. I'm not saying that they were in order. I can't remember if they were or not. But because I did that, it now recategorized them. I don't know if it did, but oh, it did actually, because Oak Tree, yeah. So it put them in order of the fastest route. Okay, but we still need to add the listings that were non-aligned showings. So you do want to create and schedule the route, because we're done here. Okay, so it has created it. It kind of gave us this little fun map so we can make sure, okay, starting A, B, C, D. Yep, that looks good. But if you need to add a stop or a non-aligned showing, you add stop, non-MLS stop. 1742 East Sherry Street. Okay, it's going to give you a couple options. Just choose the one that is correct. Hit next. It's going to put it at the bottom. That's totally fine. Click add stop. It now entered it. But see how the route is right now? It has me going from A, B, C, D, and then all the way back up here to E. Well, that doesn't really make sense. It's not a smart route. I know I have 1 more to add. Oops, sorry. I chose the wrong one. non-MLS stuff. If you need to add a new appointment, that might be something where you're with a client all day and you want to stop for lunch. You can add that stop and you can put in, whatever you want as far as location, time frame, that kind of stuff. So that would be the option to do just for route purposes. Or just make sure you give yourself a little bit of extra time. Drive, perfect, next, add stop. Okay, and that has me going all the way up here. So again, fastest route, choose your starting point. It's automatically gonna pull up the one you chose prior. Calculate your route. Well, that doesn't make sense to me. Okay. Just give me 1 second. I'm just gonna do it one more time. There it goes. Okay, so sometimes if it doesn't make sense, change the starting point and then move it back, just like I did. Because you'll be able to visually see if it makes sense or not. If it doesn't make sense, take a moment, figure it out.
Would you maybe start at B instead?
Not necessarily, because I just chose that. You could start it.
You saw it, that
Yeah.
Go back in and.
Yeah,
choose
you
the starting
can,
route
you
or
can
starting route.
go fastest route, starting point B, calculate the route. So yeah, I mean, it did change it a little bit. But let's say they're like, no, this is where I want to start, whatever it is, just choose a starting point. And then if it does make sense to, like you said, starting at A, yeah, absolutely.
And then probably just give you 30 minutes at each.
Yeah, I mean, you can go in and you can edit that if you want to.
I guess the default.
Yeah, it defaults to the 30 minutes. Before you, if I go back a couple steps, I don't want to cancel it. Can I reorder my route? Yes. If I reorder it, I can choose additional time.
Oh, okay.
Oops. So yeah, so if you need to add more time, reorder route, click on it here. It'll add the time, but see how it overlapped the other one?
Yeah, so it won't redo it if you add time after the fact.
Let's take a moment. Let's figure it out. Okay, so I had to.
Shorten the second one.
No, I didn't even have to do that, but I did have to go back to fastest route. And I had to recalculate it.
It has one showing that 15 minutes now.
It does, because I didn't change that one.
Oh, that one was already 15 minutes the other one. Okay.
All right, so change the time, apply it, come back to fastest route, recalculate it. It'll add in that time, and now it's pushing each one down 15
Okay,
minutes.
based on your amount of time in
Yes.
the house and then the travel time.
Yeah. So got a starting point of 4 o'clock. First one's 45 minutes. It calculates the drive time, which is 7 minutes, with a showing time of 30 minutes. Then it calculates the driving time between the end of this to this, 30 minutes, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So once you're good with all of this, you request appointments. Right here, request appointments. That is then going to send all of the showing requests to the appropriate agents. It will not send a request to the non-MLS. So you still have to reach out to the agent or you have to download the app for like Open Door and whatnot, and you have to get those set up. But you know, for your route purposes and for your clients' purposes, your showings will be in this order starting at this time, assuming they all get approved.
Is this something you could send to your client?
Absolutely. And because my client has not confirmed a starting point for me yet, I'm not going to request it. But know that that's what you do. So let's say I did create this route, everything was good to go. If you come over here to your routes, you are going to see either upcoming routes, which I don't have one yet, or your past routes. Let's see here. I don't think I can do that. So let me do this one, route details. See the share button right here? You can share via a PDF. You can email it to your client. You can copy it to a clipboard. And then I'm assuming we're going to be able to email it out. So hopefully y'all can see my email real quick. I know that you can email it once it's saved, but I'm just seeing if it'll allow me to. Sorry, my email is extremely slow at the moment. Email. See if I pasted. Sure did. I would probably save it as a PDF though, because I think that looks a lot better. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I like this a lot better. So you can do either way. You can save it to the clipboard and just paste it, or you can save it as a PDF like this, and then just go back and attach it and then delete it after you're done. Okay, let's go back to this, cancel that. Okay, so we did a single showing, we did a route, and we did non-MLS aligned showings. Couple other things that I just want to touch base on since we're in aligned showings. Here's your calendar. It's going to just be a basic breakdown, so you could print this if you like to see things visually, or it's interactive. You know, you can click on it. I'll show you what home you're going to or what home you've been to.
So does it only show you once they're approved, or does it show once they're requested?
So based on what we did today, yeah, it only shows ones that have been requested and approved. But here's one from Saturday, but these were canceled. I had to cancel them.
Okay.
But I still had set them up, but it shows like the status. So these are all approved, the green checks, the red are declined, and these are the canceled.
So nothing that's just been requested will show up there until it's been approved.
And well, I might
Or
actually, but I didn't request them. So, Based on this right here, I'm gonna guess that it'll be in yellow.
I see that now.
Yeah. So aligned
Yeah.
showings is still new, still learning the ins and outs of it. You can also come over here to my listings. So if any showings have been requested on yours, they will show here. But I wanted to see, oh, here. I've had 9 showings, at least since we've been in a line showing. I have received 6 messages, whether it be, I'm running late, how did your showing go, things like that. And I should say, I've received 3 surveys, which is the feedback. Oh, here's my feedback.
Do you
Okay,
have to send that out yourself or does it auto generate?
it auto generates it, but you can edit it actually. Alerts. If you received a cancellation or if you got received feedback, if it was requested, that kind of stuff will all show here. You can do reports. Based on your listing. So for example, this one was Old Litchfield. I had 12 total showings, 0 in the past 30 days, 0 in the past 7 days. And I've received 4 feedbacks. Of course, this one's closed, so it makes sense that I don't have anything on it. But for this one, this is one of my actives. This is one of my pendings. So again, I've only had 3 total showings, 30 days, nothing, 7 days, nothing, and I received 1 feedback. I was trying to find, it's not what I was looking for. The old system allowed us to see who accessed it and when they left. And as far as I know, I have not seen that ability in Aligned Showings yet
To see who accessed the house.
to see who accessed it.
I feel like it does, because the house that my buyers are looking into right now, I wanted to go do an inspection, and the agent said, yeah, just pop it into a line, so I know who was there. So she wanted to know.
Well, I'm not saying that it's not in here, or maybe I did say that.
It's,
I haven't found it.
I know.
So I got to figure out where it's at. Yeah, because I just haven't been able to find it yet. Like it shows me when they left the feedback. Because the old system had like showings on my listings, and then it had acts. Maybe it's here in the reports somewhere. And I just need to dig into it and figure it out. If I go to view a listing, that doesn't take me to where I need to go. View messages, maybe? No. But let's go, okay, let's go here. Maybe it shows me here. No. I will dig into this, but again, I mean, it's such a new system that we just have to figure it out. So if any of you figure it out before me, by all means, reach out to me so I can learn it. As for the class tonight, though, that's all I had for you. Does anybody have any questions that pertain to online showings? Perfect. Well, I will admit Annabelle, but she's going to be disappointed because we're ending. Annabelle, I will email you the class because we're actually just finishing up, but thank you for joining us. But I'll make sure it's emailed over to you. unless you have any specific questions about online showing. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. Class will be on Monday next week from 6 to 7. Yep, 6 to 7. And we'll get the flyer with the criteria or curriculum, I should say, sent out to you probably later this week. Have a great evening. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.